This is a homemade broadcast radio production.
Whether your radio dial is set to music or news or talk, each could be offensive.
But when it comes to making waves on the air, dicey language and spicy topics are turning up all over the dial. If you're not a regular to this type of radio, here's a word of caution. You may find it explicit. You decide if Tampa Bay radio is blaring out airwaves or shockwaves. Turn on your radio and find wholesome family entertainment. Turn on your radio today and make your mother blush. Almost nothing is sacred these days when it comes to radio, except not losing the station's license. Radio personalities are pushing all the limits. They find the language in this story explicit, but the Federal Communications Commission has never fined a Tampa Bay radio station. You be the judge. Are they airwaves or shockwaves?
I don't agree with all of it, but it's very popular.
Personnel, this is CVTS. Base vehicle pre-count operations will start on my mark at 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It is the homemade broadcast live stream / podcast, depending on when you're listening to this. Episode 482. My name is Will Kuntz, and joining me is Anna Hummel. Good evening, or good day, or good afternoon. Anna.
This is Anna Hummel from the Bubba the Love Spun Show.
Perfect. Oh, that's so good. That is really good.
What's up, guys?
813-693-2124 is how you get a hold of the show. Home_made_man, Instagram and Twitter. HMBradio is the website. thehomemade_broadcast@gmail.com is the email. Feel free to reach out. I forgot that I have a bunch of window clings. I got to send you some, Anna. They're really cool. It's like those stickers that I made, but they're window clings instead.
Ooh, okay.
I haven't been promoting that I have those. So maybe actually I need to send you a housewarming gift anyways. So send me your address and I'll get you a few of those.
Will do.
Your vehicle. And I see you have a great background back there in your new home. You're all settled in, really taking the domestication of Anna Hummel very seriously. She is a woman and she is cleaning, as you can see in the back.
None of those are mine. But yeah, we like to do a fair bit of cleaning in this house. But yeah, I've been embracing my feminine. I've been baking a lot more. I've baked 2 cakes in the last week. I make salads. I am a woman, so I know that's pretty inflammatory. I just got back from the gym and saw some people in the bathroom that I'm like, you know what? Whatever, dude. I don't even care. I saw someone come out and I'm like, yep, that's about right. So it's interesting. It's interesting.
Wow. Well, clean.
I really went like this and I was wearing clothes. I just was like, oh, get out of here. Scram.
Very good. Well, good. Place is coming together, I'm assuming, and you're looking good, feeling good.
Yeah, I love it. I love the suburbs. There's nothing, it's just nice to see, when you see rich white people around you, you just feel like everything's going to be okay. A lot of white linens, a lot of varicose veins in Dunedin, a lot of gray, white hair. Just everyone is just happy to be here. It's a good place to be, Will. Can I say that without being being accused of a bigot, that it's nice out here? Okay.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Good. Well, I'm happy to hear all that. I stopped by the thrift store today because times are tough. No, I've always liked thrifting and getting things for cheaper, and I don't believe in paying full price for just about anything. So I was driving by the family store, the Salvation Army family store. I don't know if you're familiar with that. It's up on 66th Street. Phenomenal thrift shop.
Does it weird you out that someone has worn these clothes that you don't know before you, and maybe they're dead?
Yeah.
Or maybe they did disgusting things in those clothes.
That more so than being dead. I don't really care if they're dead or not.
Okay.
But unless they died in the clothes,
right?
And then if it was a natural causes death and they got it right away and they got the clothes off and put it in a bag and I washed it, that's fine. I will say I always get a little itchy whenever I'm in one of those stores, I just feel it feels
Yeah.
gross. You
It
know,
is
just
gross.
you
That's
don't
your
do
intuition speaking to you.
do you thrift
No,
your clothing? You don't
no.
because you're
Now
worried
that's
about.
not to say that like I'm too good because I'm sure there's things that are like way better quality, even though they're secondhand, than the crap that I buy that's like, dirt cheap from China, but no one's worn it before.
Mhm.
Me, I'm OCD. I don't do name brand crazy stuff. I didn't know what Burberry was until I was almost 30. So I'm not name brand Jones, but I do not like the idea of wearing something that somebody wore that I don't know
Yeah, I
and
got you.
trying it on. No.
I understand that completely, and even washing it. If you go, I'll just throw this in a wash as soon as it's still not good enough. You know, it's
No,
nice
that
and soapy.
period stain's still there, which means the residue of your uterus is still in those pants.
Well, I mean, you're assuming. I think there is some sort of screening process where they kind of, if it's very stained, let's say that they probably toss it and don't put it out, unless you're. I mean, if you're at a Salvation Army or a Goodwill, I think they do that. If you're just at a thrift shop, maybe not. But
Yeah.
like I found a shirt. It was a Levi's denim shirt. It was an awesome shirt. I loved it. And, that's probably a $80, $90, maybe even up to $100 shirt, but it did have some like weird yellow stain. Like, and I was like, it's just on the pocket. I think if I take that thing and scrub it and wash it a few times, I can get that out. But then I noticed it was all the way down the sleeve too on one
How much
side.
was
I'm
it?
like, it was so okay. So let me ask you this before anything. How much do you think a shirt costs at a thrift shop?
At a thrift shop.
Yeah. Knowing that it's a name brand, it's
What was the
Levi.
brand? Levi. I don't know, maybe like $7.50.
Okay, interesting. Interesting, because you just about nailed it on the head there.
Oh God, I'm good.
But okay, let me ask you this. What if I was shocked because I went in and well, let me ask you this. What if it was a Ralph Lauren? Now you said you're not a designer type of
Yeah,
person.
to me, Levi. I'm assuming by the question that Ralph Lauren is a
It's Lauren.
more high end brand than Levi's. I'm maybe $12.50 at a thrift shop.
See, to me, that's high because when I used to do, I've done a lot of thrifting in my life, and I feel like a good price for a Ralph Lauren button down that's in a thrift shop is about $8.
Okay.
A Levi's, $4.99, I think is fair. Point being that inflation is hitting everything, even secondary markets. Okay. So I remember I went in, I just found this stupid button down shirt that actually I'm wearing it right now. Um it was I think I paid $8 for it, and I was going, this is $8 for a thrift shop? Like, this is insane. A few years ago this was $3, $4, somewhere in
Yeah.
that range. Look at this. I'm gonna put it up on the screen. Can you see it?
Whoa. Yes, I can.
So those of you can barely make it
Oh,
out. I found this shirt. I go, oh, this is a nice shirt, Ralph Lauren. I'm not really into button downs, so I was gonna pass on it anyways. $29.99.
that's just like
What?
that's that shirt on sale. Like in my mind,
You
like
can get
that's
that
a
at like
discounted new shirt. Like
you can get that new at TJ Maxx for like $30. So
no.
I don't know what TJ Maxx prices are now for Ralph Lauren button downs because they have them all the time. I That was shocking to me. $29.99 in a thrift shop. Unacceptable.
That's disturbing and disgusting.
So, everything's just getting more and more expensive, I guess. I
Did you
was
walk out with anything? You said you got the Levi shirt.
Yeah, no, I didn't get it. I put it back because I was like, this might be more work than I thought. Oh, I'll take it to the laundromat or something. They have those things with dry clean it. Maybe that would do it. But I ended up passing on that. But no, I did get a few shirts and a pair of pants. It was 50% off day. So I think I got 2 shirts and a pair of pants, which I'm not sure the pants are gonna fit,
Mm.
for $9. I think it was $8.67.
You know,
So that's
I gotta give props to a Salvation Army. I know it's a Christian deal, which whatever it is, what it is. But we had a guy call in today and say that he kicked heroin because of the Salvation Army.
yeah.
He walked in and said, "Hey, I'm addicted to heroin. Help me." And they did. And apparently, he's been off the needle since 2016. So that's
That's great.
good for him. I was throwing out. So I'm and again, if I'm derailing the show, we can scale back. But I was throwing out some ideas to solve the homeless problem in this country, none of which were very popular.
Okay. All right. So this will be interesting. I saw a homeless lady when I was at Publix, and
Yeah.
I usually did the thing you never do, which is unfortunately you don't make eye contact and
Yeah,
you kind of just keep walking.
yeah.
And I made the mistake of I
You
lit
made the mistake of treating her like a human being. Okay.
well, I will say like I didn't notice she didn't seem like that homeless. She kind of looked like Tina Turner. Honestly, she was sitting
Now or before she died?
kind of now, probably, yeah.
Yeah.
She was an older lady, but her hair was like not great, but maybe it was just a wig. I don't know. Maybe it was a wig. I'm assuming
Yeah.
maybe it must have been a wig that was a little disheveled, but I thought she was just waiting for somebody that was inside the store.
Yeah.
And I will say they would not have put up with this at my normal Publix. I go to the old Northeast Publix generally.
Old Northeast Publix.
Yeah, they'll shop the old Northeast. It's on 38th and 4th. And then there's another one
Across the street from a Publix.
Publix across the street from the Publix. You know
Okay.
what I'm talking about?
Are you on the Cali Crunch side or are you on the other side?
Where Cali is.
Okay. Yep. I've been
So
there many times.
they don't put up with any guff there. No nonsense type of place. They got the gym there, they got Crunch Fitness there, they got Cali, they got restaurants, and there's like
Nice
security,
massage
armed
spa
security.
through there. Yeah, it's a nice center, nice strip mall.
But this one across the street, which is where I went because I happened to be on that side of the road
Yeah.
today, I did notice a few folks who looked like they were housing insecure, wandering around. And this one was one, but I wasn't sure. And I didn't, like I said, you said I made the mistake of treating somebody like a human being. That's true. I did. Because if you are going to be homeless, I don't know if her strategy was better or worse because she did get my attention. I feel like you got to get right to the point and you got to be audible. You got to go, "Excuse me, sir, do you have any change?" Something like that. Some variation. She just went with, I went, "What?"
And then you made the mistake of saying, "Excuse me, can you say that again?"
I went, "What?"
Once again, Will, treating her with dignity.
Didn't hear. I thought she was
You
like,
made way. That's your major mistake.
I was gonna say maybe she needed help. She clearly did need help, but nothing that I can do to and
Right.
maybe you'll have the solutions to
Let
this.
me tell you, I could barely afford clothes at a thrift shop. Okay, we're in the same boat here.
Yeah, I'm 2 weeks away from being you. Yeah, so I was just like, "Oh no, I don't have any." And I did the thing where I apologized to her. I shouldn't have. I don't like the apology thing, but I feel like it just sounds better being like, and I really don't have any cash.
Apologize for what?
What do you mean?
Well, you said you apologize. You always say like,
Oh,
"I'm sorry, I don't have anything." Like,
exactly. That's what I did. I go, "No, I don't have
you
any cash or change. I'm
don't
sorry."
be like, "F off, get a job." Like,
Well, I think you could just be like, "No." I
it's
think that's
nicer to apologize. I love apologizing for stuff that's not my fault all the time. Just makes you sound like a kinder person, but you're not. You can
exactly.
just play one
It's
on TV. That's it.
it's a phony apology. So that's why I don't want to do that. I should have just been like, "No, I don't have it." You can say it like, "No, no." Like, I don't know what a good way to say that is, but and then she looked at my bag and I was like, "Oh, does she want to see what's in my bag? Like, is she hungry? Is she really hungry?" And then
Mhm.
I just quickly gingerly walked away. As
Yeah,
fast as I
that's
could.
probably the move.
But yeah, it's a shame. But I am interested to hear your solutions to homelessness for sure. Maybe you can help this lady. Maybe I can go back and see if any of these
Well,
solutions work.
when I say a solution, obviously a trade-off, something to improve the situation, but not help her. So do you understand the situation? I'm not helping the homeless. I'm helping the situation of the
I
homeless.
see. I see. Okay.
Um, First off, because and I know we've talked about this on the show, but like the vending machines with the crack pipes and the fentanyl strips and the clean needles that's free. It came up today, so we're watching a video about that, and I go, yeah, we're prolonging the inevitable, which is their death. So let's just kind of, I don't want to say hurry this along, but aside from just mowing them down with an SUV, which I said in jest, I think the first thing that we need to do is obviously not enable. Obviously provide help, but you have to get clean. Like you can't be we can't be enabling you doing the drugs. But I think the number one thing that we need to do is like a do not resuscitate. I think that's probably where we should start.
Okay, so that is
people
that is
are trying to die.
very opposite to what the like people in these places like California with the vending machines. I did see a story that they put out these vending machines with all that stuff in it, Narcan, et cetera, and it was either robbed or bought out in a day.
It's free, so you just go ding, 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 ding. Those people take all of them and then they sell them down the street.
Right.
So they're making a profit off of it. So, that's not helping the situation. First thing that we need to do, and this is just how here's the thing. People don't like hearing this, but this is just an idea, and I don't know if it would come to fruition because, again, it's just an idea. But I think we need to legalize all drugs. So we need to suffocate the cartels because that's also another issue. And legalize drugs within our own borders, like all drugs. Do whatever you want, your body, your choice, that whole thing. What happens when you do that, though, is things get a lot worse before they get better. That's going to happen because we've seen that in places like Oregon. We've seen that in places like Seattle where they decriminalize drugs, meth, crack, heroin, whatever, and people are just ODing in the streets. I feel like it should be kind of like a smoking area. Like, okay, you can do whatever you want, but you're going to have to do it in, druggy park over there. You want to OD, don't do it in front of an elementary school. You segregate these people, you let them do what they want to do. You decriminalize it if they do it in certain areas, like a smoking situation. And then you don't resuscitate. If you want to do it, your choice, but no one's going to catch you when you fall, especially if you're not trying to get better. Do not resuscitate. All drugs are free. It's going to get a lot worse. There's going to be a lot of death, but then it will level out because nobody, like, if doing heroin was legal tomorrow, I still wouldn't be doing it. People that aren't addicted to drugs, the law is not keeping them from doing drugs, obviously. So I think that that's what needs to be done to kind of to mitigate the issue. But again, that's a long play, not a short play, and I don't think people like that. And I think that when you start making laws and proposing bills and stuff on compassion instead of reason, nobody wins. Like, oh, we're being nice and giving them free crack pipes. Like, who's winning? So that they, they don't die from AIDS, but then they like OD. I don't understand. What are we protecting them from so that they don't get HIV? They're going to die from heroin. Like, get out of here. The only thing that I do feel kind of bad about and feel like there bears some responsibility on society is the fact that I think it's 80 to 90% of the people that die from street narcotics, it started with a prescription pad. Like, it started because you got an injury, you went to the doctor, they gave you some perks. They gave you some Oxycontin. Then they said you don't get them anymore, or, you couldn't get enough because you build a tolerance so quickly. And then you're buying them off pills off the street. Well, what's cheaper than that? Heroin, fentanyl, yada, 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 UOD. So whose fault is that? I mean, it's not like you just decided one day to go out on the street and do drugs. It's, your doctor steered you wrong. So I kind of feel a little bad, but then again, it's like, how can we help people that don't want to help themselves, even if the system effed them,
Yeah. So a lot to, I don't really disagree with you. You're saying it, there's probably a better way to say it than how you're saying it. Ron Paul famously said 2008 when he was on a debate stage, I think it was with, I can't remember, but he basically said the same thing, like legalize drugs and allow people, as long as they're not, hurting anybody else. You tend to commit more crime, though. You tend to go into poverty and then you commit crime. So you could make an argument that it is, violence against other people and their property. But he said, if it's legalized tomorrow, I'm not going to do heroin or you. And then
right. And then if they do commit crimes, then you prosecute them for the crimes they committed, but that doesn't mean that you prosecute them for doing drugs. You
Mhm.
prosecute them for robbing someone or hurting someone.
Sure, it's like chicken and egg, though. I mean, like they're probably robbing because of the drugs. Let me throw this.
Okay. I mean, like, what do you?
Right, right, right.
But they were gonna do that anyways. Like people who are addicts were gonna do that anyways. I was robbed twice by a guy who was a heroin addict. I mean, he was gonna do heroin. Heroin's not legal in Florida, so I mean, he's doing that anyways.
Yeah, well, I mean, I do agree with you that you do have this sect of people, and I've seen videos, online of, I mean, like Skid Row and other places, Portland they all got their own little Skid Rows there, and there's a bunch of zombies there, and like, what do you do with those people? Because it's not like, I think it's a myth to say that they are just hopeless and they have no help. Like, there's outreach centers, there's churches, there's non-government organizations, government organizations that are out there in the street trying to help these people, but they don't want the help. They're
Correct.
addicted
So
to
it's
drugs.
never
They're not in their right mind. So yeah, I mean, I think you're right. If you rip off the Band-Aid that way, or yeah, and just eventually let a hot dose kind of get them, but I think the approved point of view with this stuff is no. In fact, we should be doing the opposite, and everybody should now be carrying Narcan. I've seen articles of journalists saying that everybody should be carrying
no.
Narcan to
Yes, but
well,
yes,
let me,
in the sense that, like, I saw a video, I'm sure you saw it too, where like a cop was doing a stop, and I don't know if someone threw fentanyl on her face, but she was like about to OD, so thankfully another cop had Narcan. Like in situations like that.
yeah.
But
But also too, what if, I mean, do people want to get involved? Like, I'm thinking about, and these are different circumstances, of course. There's different degrees of getting involved. But that dude in New York, who with that crazy, probably drug addicted homeless man, started screaming at people and threatening people, and he put them in a chokehold because the cops are nowhere to be found. They're afraid to do their jobs.
oh, the guy that died on the subway.
And the guy that died on the subway, he intervened. What happens if one of these, journalists who are carrying the Narcan administer it wrong, or it doesn't work, and now they got involved and it led to the death of one of these people? Are they going to be criminally charged for negligence? Like, I would be afraid to even get involved in that.
What are the colors of the people involved is the
Well,
question you have to ask.
sure. I mean, you could, yeah. I mean, I see what you're saying there.
Friend or foe, if it was a black guy choking out a black guy, I doubt we would have even heard about it, maybe.
Correct.
But now it's national news because it happened to be a white Marine who's in New York City. You can't exist in New York City as a racist, by the way. It's literally impossible because everyone is a different color. Like you would just be like F you, F you, F you. Like you can't exist that way. Like not to say that they don't have racist sentiments there, but like it would be really hard to actively be a racist in New York City. You would just be running into problems every day, all the time.
Yeah, you'd be constantly turn around and
Bombarded
you're in the East Village and there's a guy in short shorts. You're like,
why?
I gotta move.
You're a Chinese person. You're in Chinatown, bro. Like
This is not for me.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. But I'm just saying the act of getting involved, like cops can't get involved. And there was kind of this like community policing effort. Okay, well, that guy on the train went with the community policing thing, and he community policed too hard, and it ended up in the death of this
we
person.
know that. I mean, did the toxicology report come back? Because I know that takes a few weeks to.
I don't know.
go
I
through.
mean, I have to really care about. Not that I don't care about this, but I have to really care to keep up with it. Because I know the news ain't gonna do it for me. I have to do my research, dig around, and
Yeah, I'd be interested to see. I mean, I would probably venture a guess that the guy wasn't sober. I think that's a safe guess to make.
no, I mean, I think he was just mentally ill. He was off his meds.
That could be it. Yeah, there are some good Samaritan laws that protect people. Sure.
Not New York.
Not New York. I don't really know. I don't know the laws in each state about being a good Samaritan. It seems like it just a spin on the colors of the people involved seems pretty arbitrary to me. So
Yeah, I mean, maybe here in Florida it would be different, but I mean, in New York, this guy's getting charged with manslaughter. So.
I love it when all the like typical cast of characters, it's like, all of a sudden you see Al Sharpton and Ben Crump and like all the people, and then they kind of go away, and then something happens and they just all come up like this, peeking their eyes out. Okay.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. So
Hey Mike and St. Pete, by the way, that was who said the Good Samaritan laws.
yeah, thanks for weighing in.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can comment below during the stream. Obviously, we'll get those, put them up on the screen, and talk about that stuff. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't disagree with you. It seems harsh. What about this alternative that I heard, which is kind of keep the limitations on drugs and use I think it was Vivek Samarani. Do you know that guy? I can't say his name, but
Yes,
he's
he's
Indian dude.
the Republican candidate pool of candidates for the presidency, right?
Yep, Indian billionaire.
Who is he? Is he a businessman? I don't know anything about him other than he's Republican.
Yeah, I think he's a tech guy.
That guy, okay. He's
Like,
young, I think. I think he's like 37.
Yeah.
38.
I've listened to a few podcasts with him, and his idea was using the military to protect the border and stop these drugs from coming in, which are coming in through the border, and using the military to do that, using those military assets that we have to do that, and then kind of keep the so essentially we're talking about using the military to fight the cartels.
Well, I think that would probably be a better use of the military than getting involved in more overseas wars, kind of protecting our own. So I don't think that would necessarily be a bad idea. But again, it's all like you got to do a shakedown of cost and benefit analysis of what would that cost? What are we looking at? Is that more or less than a war? Is that resources that would be better spent elsewhere? Are the cartel going to start paying off the military like they do with everyone else with Border Patrol? Could you turn a blind eye for one day a month? You can capture 30 people, but the 31st, can you let go? Here's $500,000, Border Patrol guy. That happens all the time. So I don't know. I would like to say yes, but again, to me, it's all a cost benefit analysis of A, how effective it would be, and then B, how much it would cost,
Sure. I just think it would, not only the cost, but the emotional, labor that this is going to save of people, number one, taking these drugs, the damage that they do when they take these drugs to other people, the loss in families. And I think that's a cost that should be kind of factored in too. But I don't know. I mean, I kind of like the idea of just decriminalizing it, and that
it would get bad. It would get really bad, and people would have to know that going in. Like, you would have to prepare people for what's about to happen, because if you implement something and it goes downhill, you're like, this isn't working. It's like, okay, it's gonna get worse before it gets better, because now people aren't scared. They're doing it in plain sight. The only thing that I'd be concerned about is, like, you don't want that stuff in front of an elementary school or in front of like your nice home. But if you could delegate areas where people could freely do drugs and just kind of off themselves, I'd be okay with that.
That's kind of what's happening now in these major cities. But I think that there is attention to providing medical care too if somebody overdoses, and there's got to be a lot. So there's a lot of resources probably going to that. So you're just saying, let's keep going with what we're doing now. We just don't provide any ambulance.
And you don't enable them either. You don't provide them with clean needles. You don't provide them with, crack pipes and fentanyl strips. It's the Wild West. You do whatever you want to do, but no one is going to catch you when you fall. So take the risk if you will. And if you want to do that, that's fine, but don't expect to be saved. I think that's fair.
I don't hate it. It sounds so, and I guess it is kind of cold. It's a cold way of looking at it. You're kind of taking any emotion out of it whatsoever. And
I think that's the best way to kind of create legislation or new policies is you got to say, okay, feeling sorry for someone and giving them food, giving them clean needles. Like, look at the stats. Is that working? Is the problem better or worse now that we've done that? It's probably worse. So let's maybe not like make policy with our hearts. Let's try to make policy with our brains. We got to preserve, I'm thinking kind of long term and the preservation of, not just our species, but more so like the nation.
Yeah.
How do you preserve America? Is it you help people destroy themselves, or you allow them to destroy themselves, and you try to insulate the people that are trying to do good and be productive members of society? I think the latter,
Do
right?
you know
Like,
that?
protect the people that are trying to do something versus, these people that are just wanting to off themselves, and we're just giving them more resources, giving them more medical care, giving them more food. Like, this is all, costing more money keeping these people alive, unfortunately. And guess what? They don't have jobs. So they're not really contributing to the system themselves. So it's really just a suck on everybody else.
Yeah. Well, I do think that people's empathy is getting us in trouble with. I think a lot of this stuff is kind of like a weapon that's kind of created by whatever China's CIA is. I've heard. Have you ever heard the idea that? And I don't even know if it's an idea. I mean, I know for sure that China produces a lot of medication, including these
Well, it's like
opiates.
90% of our antibiotics are from.
That too.
Yeah.
That they're just kind of getting the ingredients, the cartel from China, and ergo it goes into the United States. And I've heard that it's kind of revenge for the opium trade and the opium den houses where Chinese citizens were kind of hooked on this opium drug. And I guess it had something to do with it being systemic during that time to keep them kind of drugged up. I don't know that much about it.
But hold on. You're saying that they're doing this knowingly to Americans for
Yeah.
payback for the opium?
Yeah.
How is the opium? Explain this to me. Maybe I missed this bit of history, but why is that America's fault?
Because I guess it was kind of
Those
shipped
copies
in.
are made in like Afghanistan or
Yeah, but it was
manufactured.
I don't really know too much about it, but I know that it was kind of shipped over there, and I guess it was done on or there's arguments that it was done on.
Sure. Like kind of like the crack deal in the 80s.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've heard that that's a thing, and then obviously the online TikTok, which is just like I called it last night a weapon instead of a weapon, a web-based application that's used as a weapon.
Ooh, clever.
Thank you. I was very happy with that one. Uh, and I think that there's a lot of things like psychological warfare, direct kind of guerrilla tactics used with some of these medications to really, because you got to say that this population of people that are doing this are burdens, really. I mean, economic burdens. Just
Parasitic relationship all day.
it's something that Washington D.C. and state governments have to deal with. They're not doing a very good job at it.
No, they're making the problem worse.
They're
And it
making
seems to
it
be
worse.
odd that the more money we throw at an issue, the worse it gets. It's like they want it to be bad.
I think that
Like
there's
they
a
want it
lot.
to be bad.
I think that there's a lot of stuff that people don't in power don't want to actually face the problems because it leads to some results that you kind of go, "Ugh, I don't like this."
I think it's more sinister
Like,
than that.
huh?
I think it's more sinister than that.
Mm,
I think that they purposely don't solve the problem because the problem is a market in and of itself. So, for example, we talk about the food industry. How is it the fact that 93%, Will, of Americans have metabolic dysfunction? That means that they have high blood pressure, glucose, prediabetes, obesity, any of those things. 93% of Americans have that issue, one of those issues, right? We have more knowledge than we've ever had before. We're throwing more money at this, at health, at research and all this stuff. And the problem is getting worse. How is it getting worse? How do we know more than we did 60 years ago? And the problem is 10x worse than it ever was before. They want it to get bad because you follow the money. Where's the money going? Oh, I've been learning a lot about Coke was funneling money to the NAACP because Coke gets $10 billion a year from government subsidies, right? And so when every time that there's a bill that gets put on, someone from Congress's table and they go, maybe we shouldn't be subsidizing Coke and Coke products and sugary drinks because it's not good for American health. Well, Coke goes, that's a lot of money for us. Let me call up the NAACP. Hey, we want to make a donation, blah, blah, blah. Can you say that anybody who's opposing this legislation, it's actually racist legislation because a lot of young, poor Black kids love soda? So to take that away from them is actually a racist endeavor. And the NAACP plays along and says, that's racist that you want to take this away from our kids. Well, what happens? A third of American youth is pre-diabetic. Things that should only be happening to you like in your never, but maybe in your 60s, 70s are happening to adolescents. That's horrific. But it's like you create this cash cow effect of lifelong patients who are stuck on pharma, big pharma, right? Statins or metformin for diabetes, blood pressure medication. The food industry is involved because they want government subsidies. That's easy money. Like 70% of food subsidies goes to highly processed foods, and we're getting sicker and sicker. And we know more and more. How is that the case? It doesn't make any sense. So when I see things like that happening, I don't think it's this big riddle. I think it's like, oh, this is intentional. There's money to be made on these sick people. There's money to be made on, whatever, racism. It's a diversion, whatever it is. You see people like the BlackRock guy. Is that it? BlackRock, Larry Fink. Right? Why is he pushing this woke agenda? Why are all of them pushing this woke agenda? Oh, and we talked about this last week. Oh, it's because the left hates the rich, right? Eat the rich. Well, if the rich aligns itself with these leftist ideals, it's like putting lamb's blood on your door, and the angel of death kind of flies over. So I just follow the money, man. It's not that people don't know how to solve these problems. It's that there's money to be made. Where's the money to be made?
Yeah, and we did talk about it last week, and it's funny because I saw a clip, and I was actually going to bring it up with Larry Fink from BlackRock talking about the process of forcing change using their enormous investing power.
I think I saw it. Yeah,
they give these companies a score based on their
ESG.
ESG,
not to be confused with MSG, which is what I was calling it for a while.
And it's funny too. Like not nobody. There's different bubbles that we're all in. So like Matt Fernandez came in, a comedian, Tampa comic, onto the Johnny B show last week, and I made a comment about how the heckling now about Pride Month is a little more literate because they're actually talking about ESG as opposed to just being bigots on these pictures. And he goes, "I don't know what that is." I went, "Really? You don't know what that is?" And he said, "No." And I kind of explained it to him, and he goes, "I don't know." Okay.
He's kind of in that camp, right? Would you put him in that camp of people who are, loud and proud? Not that I'm not saying he's gay. I'm just saying like he's
yeah, I think he's a big
I don't know.
yeah, I think he's just like a Democrat dude who's just trying to understand what the big deal is. How is this affecting you? I think would probably be his point of view. And then, when you bring up stuff like this, I got so mad. In fact, let's just can I pull this clip up? And I know that you probably already seen it, and probably a lot of people have seen it as well. But let's listen to this. This is Larry Fink, CEO of BlackRock. He is he has probably control of the world's largest supply of money. Obviously, money kind of equals power. Here he is talking about why are these companies doing these things that lose them money? It's because they got to go through him if they want to get funding. Let me know if you can hear this, Anna. Can you hear that?
No.
You could not hear that.
No.
Oh, I'm wondering if it's going on the recording. Let me check here. Oh, this is bad for streaming.
Okay.
Processing. Should be all right. Should be going. Maybe I just stopped it too quick. Let's see. You can hear that?
Investment criteria for
yes.
Okay, you can. Okay, great. So we're gonna try. let's do it now.
I can't hear that.
Oh crap! You can't hear it. Neither can anybody else.
I heard it for a second.
Okay, we're doing
There we go.
So,
Crap. All right.
Do what you just did with the split screen deal.
Yeah. All right. So let me start it over. Sorry about that. Let me,
Okay, I was just like, it's gonna start.
this is the problem with being your own producer and having a bunch of tabs open and being stupid. Is sometimes
No,
you're not able to. All right,
don't
here.
talk about my friend like that. All right.
You now make a point of that's an investment criteria for you.
Well, behaviors are going to have to change, and this is one thing we're asking companies. You have to force behaviors, and at BlackRock we are forcing behaviors. 54% of the incoming class are women. We added 4 more points in terms of diverse employment this year, and what we're doing internally is if you don't achieve these levels of impact, your compensation could be impacted. Okay,
We're doing the same thing.
and so it's just you have to force behaviors, and if you don't force behaviors, whether it's gender or race or just any way you want to say the composition of your team, you're going to be impacted. And that's not recruiting, it is development, as Ken said. And ultimately, it's still going to take time, but I am just as much shocked as Ken is that we have not seen more opportunities. And we're going to have to force change.
Pretty
So
smart. Pretty smart.
you got an unelected bureaucrat who is using capitalism to legislate these. I don't know. They're not laws, but legislating this ideology without anybody. It's hacking democracy. He's totally got around the idea of democracy.
It's
For a
pretty
progressive
brilliant.
agenda.
It's pretty brilliant when you get the peasants to fight each other so they don't revolt against you.
Yeah, yeah. So that's intense. So it is partly money and partly, this is where all these people go, the World Economic Forum, Davos, whatever, and they talk about this stuff and then they enact them using business, the factory, which is another branch of government. All these things are connected, and then you get the media who just agrees with this stuff and they want this stuff to happen, so they run
He's
smoke
probably
screens.
getting money from this guy too. Like,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
like you said, they're all in bed together. It's all connected.
Yeah. So the only use for power is to get more power, and it seems like that's what these folks are doing, or bypassing power. I guess maybe would even be more true. I don't know.
Both.
813-693-2124 HMBradio.com home_made_man. Do you have to go to karate class?
I got to break some boards.
You got to break some words. You got to go.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts?
I got no thoughts, man. I got no thoughts. I can go for about 5-10 more minutes if you want to do that, or if we should just end here. If there's something pressing you want to divulge to the audience, I'm here for it.
No, that's about it. I the only other thing is I had the Spectrum advertisement that was mailed to my house. Do you get these? Just like, hey, get our cable, and it's kind of
like
got
a new promo or something.
Well, now they're all in Spanish.
What?
Yeah, look at
Not
that.
in Dunedin.
Oh, not in Dunedin.
Not
Maybe
in Dunedin. It's weird. You just moved 25 minutes north, and the political sentiments are vastly different here. I don't see any flags other than DeSantis, Trump, and the American flag. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here, and then I asked my dad, and he says he gets them in Spanish too. So maybe it's just they're doing it by location.
Yeah, I don't want to be rude because I think you're a smart person. But did you turn the letter over? Because sometimes it's English on one side and Spanish on the other. I swear to God, Will, if you just
Hold on, let me check.
Oh no! I hope I'm right. God, I hope I'm right.
Okay, I'm gonna open it right now just to be sure.
Okay.
All right, I didn't even open it, so I'll do it live on this stream right now.
Oh, you didn't even open it. Okay.
Well, I mean, it clearly is in Espanol.
I know I have an astigmatism, so it is very hard for me to read that even here. So.
And this says, nope, it's all in Spanish.
No way. For real? Both sides. Okay.
Oh,
Fair.
nope, you're right.
Hey, what's up?
But the English is on the back, not the front.
How do you know?
Because this is the front where you could tell by the folds.
And the card.
And the card was in the front.
Well, maybe never mind. I was gonna say something and I don't want it to be misconstrued, so I'm gonna self-edit. Never mind.
Well,
Are
I
you
was
are you in an economically stressed part of town, Will?
St. Petersburg.
I mean, do you feel like the demographic of your neighborhood is changing?
No,
Oh, okay.
everybody
No,
speaks English here. I
no
think
further
the guys
questions.
in the front house speak Ukrainian actually, but
Oh,
everybody
okay.
is just crackers. I don't know. I mean, I've seen it on the back, and even that, I remember people getting up, like not upset, but just noticing that, whoa, there's ads are in Spanish. So now the English is on the backside. Now and I guess it's that way in Largo too, but you haven't noticed that in Dunedin yet.
I've only gotten like 2 things in the mail. Let me see. One of them is no Spanish here, just English.
There's one Spectrum.
It's not from Spectrum. Sorry, no.
Okay.
It's from
Keep
USPS.
an eye out. Keep an
I
eye
will.
out and look for see Spectrum or WoW or anything. WoW seems to be Ingles.
Wow.
But Spectrum Espanol.
Mm.
I don't know. I just thought that was weird, interesting. Maybe
Yes.
not.
Unusual, but
Anybody in
hold
the
on, stand by.
Oh, you got mail. Spectrum.
I do. I don't want to show the address here, but it also looks to be the case that yes,
And
Spanish on the front.
Oh my gosh. How about that?
Billy boy, let me open this up here.
You probably got the same one I did.
Let's see. Is it like a discount for poor people? Is that why the Spanish? Never mind.
No, it's just advertising their service.
It's weird. Even the 100% you are correct. With the Spanish is clearly on the front. I just thought maybe it was a one-off with you. And even if you see, I'm making sure there's no address here that you can see. Even if you see the card. Sorry, where's the?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there it is. The card you can see at the top. Spanish before English.
Espanol.
Huh.
What's up with that, Spectrum? I'm just curious. I don't really care, but I just want to know. I mean,
maybe they're welcoming all the people that DeSantis is trying to get rid of. I don't know.
The new Residentes?
Say it again?
The new Residentes?
The new Residentes. Yes.
I don't think that's the word, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's very strange. I've actually never seen that before where you see Spanish before English. But yeah, I guess it's the new Residentes. So interesting.
I kind of want to write Spectrum. I'm afraid I'm going to end up on a watch list for even asking the question, but I'm just curious, like, what's the deal? I mean, I know that there's a big Spanish speaking population in, this area. In fact, I think the number one radio station is the Spanish station, right?
Yeah, this is also strange. Just noteworthy. I don't know if they have a new vice president of marketing, but her name is Marisol Martinez.
Where'd you see that?
There's like a little baby letter.
On the letter.
If you turn it over to the back side, which is now the English side.
Uh-huh.
It says at the bottom there. It's her signature.
Interesting. I'm going to send her an email and see if I can get some answers.
Hola.
Yeah, do I have to use Google Translate? She's going to get it and be like, I don't understand these.
No, that would be awesome. Are you just going to inquire?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
we're in Florida and the main ad is in Espanol. Just wondering what the rationale behind that is.
And it's on the card here on the back end. It gives you a number to call for English.
And it's a different number.
Usually it would be a number for Spanish.
Yeah.
But they're like, hey, if you want to speak English, you have to call a different number here.
We don't even have for Espanol, press 2. Now Espanol is 1 and English is 2.
English is dos.
English is dos. How about that? I think that's the name for this episode. Got
English
it right at the end. English is dos. Yep.
That's crazy stuff right there.
Anna, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Anything else before I let you go?
That's it, my friend.
Peace
That is
out,
it.
player.
All right. Bye.
Goodbye. There she goes. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry I messed up a few times, but like I said, I'm my own producer, and it's not easy. It's not easy at all. 813-693-2124 if you want to get in touch. Home_made_man. If you're really enjoying the show and you want to give a donation, it's Will Kuntz right there. It's just my name, all one word. HMBradio.com and thehomemadebroadcast@gmail.com. If you would like a window cling, that's like a sticker, but it's kind of just goes to the window, and then it won't, get sticky stuff all over the place. Let me know. Even if I gave you a sticker recently, I'll still send you a window cling. I got like 50 of them. So if you're interested in having one of those, email me or text me or slip into my DMs or something, and I'll get those out to you. Be back tonight at 10 p.m. on The Bone with Johnny B. And Thursday and Friday, same thing. Be back now 5 days a week on The Bone. Have a good one. See ya.